I'm going to make this a monthly routine as well. What do you think of my backdrop? What do you think of this month's backdrop? I'm in Austria this time. Gary, where you are is a lot hotter, isn't it? Where are you? Tell everyone where you are.
Yeah. I came in here about 5 minutes before we got on and put the aircon on. So I'm sweating before we even start. So yeah.
What time is it in Bali?
I'm ready to save myself after the workout. Now it's just gone 5 o'clock.
Amazing. And Trevor, where are you? Let the gang know.
Nottingham. The home of Robin Hood. You know what I'm saying to you? East Midlands, Nottingham. Yeah.
Brilliant. And LJ, how you doing?
Very well, pal. Very well.
Thank you, mate. Me and LJ have got matching little grey patches in a beard. So next time I'm going to come with a fresh trim, but no one's been able to get to the barber or anything. All right. I'm going to get started. Thank you so much for joining. I really, really appreciate it. It's month 2, Temple 2. The first one was really, really fun. Got some great feedback, and we've got almost everyone back and some new people in new countries and new parts of the world. So amazing. Welcome. Thank you for coming at this time on a Saturday morning. Hey Tom, you got your tea, you got your coffee. I've been emailing you all. I'm going to send the link around some point this week. The Guardian newspaper have created, it's probably been around for a while, but they've created like a good news newspaper. And I always wanted to have like a news channel which just had like good news. I was like, that's what I always thought. I was like, I'd love to turn on the news and there'd be like good stuff, someone pouring out good stuff. So I'm going to start with good news. Last month, we had raised about £112 for kids' boxing classes. Got a special donation, extra £30 from LJ. Thank you so much. So we've now raised £142 for kids' boxing lessons for kids to train for free. The gym's been closed. I'm going to sit down with those guys, and I think we're going to work it out. So when a kid comes for the first time, they will get to try out a boxing session for free. So that's going to be amazing. We've now got 44 free places for kids to learn boxing. This month so far, we've raised another £116. So for Christmas presents, we're gonna buy boxing gloves for about 4 or 5 adults with autistic spectrum disorder and learning difficulties. Dave Pike's in the building, and if I can only get 4 sets of boxing gloves, we're going to make up the difference, and we're going to get them all boxing gloves for Christmas. They really go in on a Saturday afternoon, so looking forward to that. In December, if anyone wants to come down to the gym, I'm going to try and sort out a session for us as well. So anybody that wants to come and train at Aberfeldy Boxing Club, put in the chat or send me an email, and I'm going to create a little session for all of us. Right, let's go. Thank you to all the guests for coming. I'm not paying them. I just appreciate you helping me build something. So I'm going to go round to LJ and Gary. Gary first and LJ. Just give me a little introduction to yourself again for anyone that's new. A little minute update on what you're up to, and then I'm going to get to Trevor because I think his story is a bit bigger this time. So Gary, welcome. Just intro yourself to Trevor and everyone else, and how's the month been?
Yeah, nice one, Rob. Yeah, thanks for having me on here again. Trev, good to meet you. Nice to meet everyone on here, and yeah, see some good friends on here as well. Yeah, the last month, so an intro. My name's Gary. I came out here to Bali with a team to open a rehab after starting my own journey for recovery from cocaine and alcohol addiction. So I've been out here for just over a couple of years. I'm working on a new project at the moment to help people after they transition out of rehab programs. So to integrate what they learned when they were in treatment, follow through with their plans after they leave treatment, and then some life coaching for them to pursue some big life goals, to start really enjoying and feeling the limitless potential available in recovery. So yeah, that's what I'm working on. And last month, it's been wonderful. I think maybe a few days after we did that last session, I signed up to get my paragliding license. So I'm just waiting to do my first solo flight paragliding. But I was ready to do it last Saturday, but then literally an hour after I did the tandem flight and they said you're ready for your solo, the wind died, and it's not returned since for a whole week. I keep messaging the guy every day, and he's like, no, the wind's too low. So hopefully I'll be doing that soon. And just working super hard on the Recovery Quest stuff, which is the new project for people transitioning out of treatment. It's been a really big month. Website's nearly ready, brochures are all done, logos, everything's up and running, the program's refined, teams building. So yeah, it's good. And I moved here to a co-working and co-living space. So I've been working a lot on trying to optimize my environment, optimize my time. And so, yeah, that's
Cool.
That's...
And you said when the wind died down, you were trying to do this paragliding, the first solo paraglide. I think you're nuts, but okay. What was there was like a Balinese phrase that you used, which meant like all in good time or something.
No, it's Satu Hari. It's just Satu is one and Hari is day. So
one
Satu
day.
Hari, and one day off life.
One day. Amen. And LJ, how have you graduated? You're on a course. How are you this month? And just introduce yourself to Trevor and some new people that weren't here last month. LJ.
Cheers, Rob. Hi, everyone. Yeah, I'm LJ. I wrote this book when I was in prison and a little less hairy. So this month I've had a graduation from the School of Social Entrepreneurs. I was on their Trade Up program, and that got completed this week. I finished delivering a Prince's Trust course as well this month. There's been quite a lot of new business coming in with what I've been doing, but it just feels so weird that it's all happening in lockdown 2.0. It's all over a screen. It's all docu-signs. Regards to my clothing, I've actually got 3 partners involved in the business now, which is separate to my charity. And it feels really weird signing docu-signs when, we should really be doing that as solicitors and stuff, though. And it feels real. Well, it doesn't. I know it's happening, but it doesn't quite feel real yet. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to getting out of lockdown, like I'm sure everyone else.
Amazing. Thank you, LJ. And I do want to plug when the the Cell Workout apparel is hitting shelves and hitting stores. So you can DM LJ and get some Cell Workout stuff for someone for Christmas. It's amazing. Like at some point, your equipment's going to be produced in jail, right? By people that's in jail, and some of the design and some of the production's going to happen for people whilst they're inside. I guess giving them new skills. Yeah.
Yeah, and hopefully bring on some people into jobs when they get out.
That's so cool. All right. Now I want to introduce our special guest. We've got Trevor Rose, Big Trev from Nottingham. My mum asked me, like, how do you know this Trevor, the special guest? And I had to think about it, and I said, to be honest, like, I think I must have started following you on Facebook, and there's just some people on social media where the energy just comes through the screen. And I saw you doing pull-ups. I saw you working with different people. I saw you doing photography. I saw you on a Segway in LA. I don't know if you remember this. And I was like, I just need to get in touch with this guy. And I know you started out at a music studio, and then you were at the royal wedding with Prince Harry, and I want to know a bit about everything that happened in between. So Trevor, welcome, good morning, and thank you so much.
It's all good. Hi, and yeah, man. Thanks for getting in touch. I mean, to be honest, I tend to drift a bit. So you know, I mean, if I drift, you have to kind of take me back or get me back on track again. But I would say the story is my background is I'm a breakdancer. Yeah, I left school with no qualifications and that, and I just wanted to be, you know, I just wanted to do something. I wanted to meet people. I wanted to be famous, as they say. I wanted to get out there. And I'd never traveled anywhere. And I remember doing French in German at school and thinking, well, why am I doing French and German? Because I didn't travel. So luckily, I got the opportunity to do breakdancing, as you do, you know, breaking in the middle of the city centre. Someone noticed me. And then before you know it, the journey began. I was lucky enough to go to Amsterdam, Germany. It was all on the ferry, about 20, 30 of me and my mates, you know, all in a minibus, and 2 days of just everyone just squashed up together, traveling all the way there, traveling all the way back. And the beauty of it was we extended it for like, what, between 3 or 5 years. So between 3 and 5 years, we just toured Europe, battled everybody. I mean, you'd jump out at a bus stop, and if someone had a move, that was it, you were battling. You know what I'm saying to you? So that's the kind of energy that we're talking about. So anywhere in any time, that was it. You know, you just break dance. So we all went to, the second year, we all went to Amsterdam on roller skates because we thought, you know, why not? So we're roller skating around Amsterdam and breakdancing and just living that life because, you know, we had nothing to lose. The beauty was over the 3-5 years, I kind of realized what I would say through nothing, how fortunate I felt we were to have this opportunity, which, you know, we were literally dancing for our food, dancing for our dinner, dancing for our, you know, wherever we stayed. So the more we danced, the more someone would say like, hey, you know what I mean? Why don't you perform at our place? That's another place to stay at. That's dinner for tomorrow. That's hotel. And when I came back after say 5 years, I just felt like we needed to kind of give this experience to more people. And the best way I felt to do that was to kind of, rather than just dance the music, why don't we start making some music so that we could kind of give a bit more of an opportunity to people. And I've got no experience in music, so the journey was completely, you know, inspirational. We sat in a room, they gave us a keyboard, you know, a computer, and we just started pressing the buttons. And hey, before you know it, we was running back and forth to London. Tim Westwood was on, I can't remember, was he on Capital then? I can't remember what station he was on back then. It was years ago. And 279 was on Choice FM. Max and Dave was on, Kiss. So it was early days. And but in with that, my background is I'm one of 6, and my dad was a professional boxer. I didn't really know him well because he left when I was really, really young. But the inspiration of always wanting to live up to my older brothers was always like, you know, being the younger of nearly 6, I wanted to, you know, you just want to be like everybody else in the family. And my older brother was a really good boxer at a very good young age. So I always used to sit in my bedroom, as you do, pretend to be Bruce Lee, pretend to be Jackie Chan, doing the push-ups, trying to do splits and stuff. I learned splits by from the Kung Fu films, which means you got 2 chairs, you stood on the 2 chairs and you just kick the chair away. So the further the chairs drop, the more you had to just hold your legs in the split position, and you would just try and watch a TV show. So I learned things from a kind of traditional Chinese kind of method, you know, and that was it. It stayed with me. So the studio has been here since '89. We opened in '91. We were at a youth centre. We were a group of young kids who were, some of us were seen not to succeed. We were told that, you know, we wouldn't get anywhere in life. We were told that we were most likely to end up in prison. And to be honest, I just kind of felt like, well, how is it that we are already told what we're going to end up like, or how people feel that our journey is already preordained? So I just says, well, we've got nothing to lose. So all we can do is do better and do more. And that's what we did. So every day we opened up, more and more kids kept coming. We weren't paid, I was unemployed. And every day we had between 50 and 100 kids coming into this room and just saying, well, what we're going to do. And every day we did something else. A bit of dancing, a bit of music, a bit of basketball. If a kid needed his hair doing, someone would figure out how to get a pair of shears and we'd do a bit of barbering. But all I did is we just sat down and formulated, as we went along the journey, DARE, the Drugs Awareness Project, passed by because they could see every day there was these 50 and 100 kids going into this building. The youth service, same thing. So everyone started becoming aware of this fact that every day we opened up at like 6 in the morning, 100 kids would go into this room, and it was connected to a youth center. So we got formulated over the years by services from DARE. What's the early version of what's his name? You know the singing program where they audition for the singers? I can't remember what it's called now. Pop Idol. There was an earlier version of it, and we were involved in finding young people for that, for The Voice and Fame Academy, and then we did some work with the Mobos, and so this, being unemployed, rolling with 50 to 100 kids, we contacted EMI Records because obviously everyone wanted to be famous. So we got lucky. We went to EMI. We did some work with the guy who had signed Jamelia. So I would have 10, 20 kids who were either involved in community service or maybe weren't attending school fully, but I'd be taken to London and we'd be getting them involved in working on short films. We'd be working with Jamelia and EMI. We would do some stuff at BMG. So as a young unemployed guy, I was mentoring young kids. But it was a life journey. It wasn't a job because I wasn't getting paid. And they were literally, the parents were like, hey, you know, you're doing something good with my son or daughter, so keep doing it. And I'd say over 15 years, we became, I would say, a lot more recognized for it. So every year somebody else would get involved, and every year I would go, oh, you know, yeah, we're going to do another film, we're going to do another record, and we did more dancing, and then eventually, because we're in a youth center, we did more and more things that related. And for me, fitness was always something that related, because I always remember being 6 and thinking, I can do 100 press ups, I can do 1 finger press ups, and I couldn't really. But at 6 years old, who's going to tell me I can't? Yeah. So I was always trying to do what I would call the impossible, because I feel that the more you can do, the more people believe in you, and the more that, the energy that you recognize becomes visual. So, and I always believed if I got the opportunity, I'd be one day on TV and they'd ask me, like, they wouldn't ask me what my name is. They'd say, can you do 100 press up? Of course I can. Can you do, 1 finger press up? Of course I can. Because that's the kind of thing that would get you recognized, and people would be wanting to say, yeah, we've got to have this guy involved.
So Trevor, wow. I knew I knew the story was, I knew there's going to be a lot of amazing stuff that happened along the way. 2 things before we get into the workout. 1, so where are you at now? You've got a gym, a recording studio, a photographic studio. I don't know if you just want to give us a quick show around where you are, and this is what it's kind of built up to, because this is pretty inspiring for me.
Okay. If I get my technical stuff wrong, sorry, but okay. So you can see it now. So what I've got now is I'm in my gym, basketball gym, and as you can see, I've got professional photography equipment. I've got deflectors, reflectors for using. I've got tripods. I've got keyboards. I've got 12 different colored backdrops. Obviously, this one's just lean, you know what I'm saying to you. I don't know if you want to see one of my rooms. I've got, well, I won't show you everything because it'll get nasty. You'll be surprised. And then I've got, obviously, just over here, I've got a pull-up station. Yeah. So, in essence, professional softboxers. So, in the corner, I've got trampoline. Yes. Yeah. I've also got my boxing bag ready to go with my so I use this to tension, what I'm saying to you. Yeah. And then you've got 2 weighted vests. Johnny, I've got 40 sets of boxing gloves. If you come out here, we've been delivering care packages to the community. So we've got care packages where we've been setting up, we raised some money and we've been giving out notebooks, pencil and pens for the kids, and then and footballs, and then we've got a version for women and we've got a version for men. I've got brand new keyboard because obviously we're going to do we do choirs and music lessons. later on today, I'll be teaching a barbell class. So I've got my barbell here that I brought from home to set up. My office is a mess. So hey, let's not argue. That's a mess. Just a quick version so you can see. I've got yeah, man, this looks like Annika Rice, if you remember her, the famous show she did. I've got 2 outdoor basketball courts. So we've got a very big graffiti yard that we do a lot of over the years. If you like doing the flipping tires, obviously, as you can see there, we've got the tires that, you know what I mean, no matter what time it is, we're going to flip these 6 tires all the way down to that yard and back at least 4 or 5 times today. You know what I'm saying to you? And then, so yeah, it's the sorry, 1 second. Yeah. The thing that I would say that you need to understand about what it is, though, let me just show you a look at the building. When we started, we only had 1 room. So the only thing I need to mention is, obviously, as you can see, this is a recreational space, a computer suite, which will be, because we're remodernizing at the moment. So that's why some of it looks a bit of a mess. So this will be my full photography, a white room, all seamless. So that'll be all set up. Yeah. But what you need to recognize is that when we started, so now we're coming to part of the recording studio area. This is the live center, more pianos, more keyboards, workstations. And then we go into a bit of darkness because my lights are off. But then we've got the recording studio, the main recording studio area. Yeah. And
but when you started, you just had 1 room in that building.
Same building, yeah. So all you got to remember is even I've just shown you the space of 15 different rooms. For the first like 12 years, we had this 1 room, nothing. So in this 1 room, you'd have the recording studio, 100 kids. You got to remember that, 100 kids, and then you would have, and then you would also have a drum kit in the corner. Like obviously at the moment, I've just got a valve amplifier, but you'd have the drum kit in this corner, studio this side. So you'd have 100 kids in here, and you'd have a piano in that end. So you'd have about 10 of them playing piano, some playing guitar, and then some making music. And that was it, just 1 room. So we've come a long way to actually even understand that now we have, a whole, as you can see, me walking through, we've got office spaces here where my admin and PA sits. We do a lot of video editing, so we work on Premiere Pro, all the kind of, the latest kind of programs that people use.
Amazing.
Yeah. So. All
right, Trevor.
Yeah.
Do you want to get yourself back in the gym?
Yeah.
Get yourself back in the gym. I'm just blown away, really. Okay. I wasn't expecting that tour.
Yeah, gym time.
And I wasn't expecting. I just didn't realize what you'd built as much as you'd built. And the reason it's an inspiration is because I've got this thing. We've created this thing. It's called TEMPL. We're on Zoom, but what you've managed to build in the physical world is just quite incredible, really. And it's an inspiration. You've helped so many people. So if you want to start getting ready, Trevor, I'm going to hand over to LJ, because I think everybody's probably ready to work out. And Trevor, I want you to do this workout with us as well, because that's one of the main things we're here for. Okay. Thank you. I love the idea of like giving me and people more like routines to do at home. The gym is closed and then it's open, then it's closed. So I think it's really important to like have a routine that you can do in your living room. I think you should use that sofa as your new backdrop. Actually, I love that sofa to the side of you with the tropical. Yeah.
It's all a bit. I live in a studio. With it's not much room.
That could be your new backdrop. And also this is the concept of getting different trainers each month, like just doing interesting different new movements, because I've never done the like the back rolls, and I just like to mix it up with different stuff. Man, I can hear that. Sorry. I can just just different movements, different stuff that everyone brings to the table, brings to the party. So I love that. Trevor, did you work? I saw you working out. How was that? I know you're super fit.
Yeah, no, I won't lie, it was good. And yeah, I was rolling around and kind of I was trying to look professional, you know what I'm saying? I kept thinking like I'm going to fall over and kind of, but yeah, it was interesting, yeah. I was sweating away, so it made it happen.
Thank you, mate. Yeah, and Olivia said it was amazing. Olivia said, thank you, LJ. So that was good work from everyone. I saw Tom, I saw you doing the back rolls and everything. So thank you. Maybe we'll try and share the workout, get some of those exercises for everyone to do. But thank you for everyone for jumping in, and I hope that's going to like kickstart your weekend. I'm just going to get back whilst you get like a drink of water, relax. We've got about 20 more minutes, and we're just going to chat to Gary, to LJ, and to Trevor again. So you've hydrated yourself, Olivia. That's a good move, I think. And hi, David. Hi, everybody. So, Trevor, well, what I want to say is, again, I want to find out what you do around exercise. You said when you go to, I see you in the park on the pull-up bars and everything.
Yeah.
Why do you work out? Like, I didn't know about the breakdancing background. So why do you work out? Why do you get your young people to work out? Because I see all the equipment there.
Yeah, I mean, really, I just think it's from we're born and we're children, the most important lesson in life is, you know, for children to have energy, to run, to play, to move. So I think that the problem is the more we organize ourselves, the less we do. As soon as we get into school, we sit down for longer hours, into college, into university. If you get a proper job, you do a 9 to 5, and then you go home and sit down, have your dinner, then go straight to bed. I mean, I've got friends who were in their like mid-40s, 50s, and they're in bed by 8, 9 o'clock. And I just think that it's a real weird, story to kind of think that we've come from being really energetic children to being grown adults, but then, actually in bed by 8, 9 o'clock on a normal evening. And I'm not criticizing it, but I'm just saying it just feels a shame when there's so much we can do, so much we can walk, we can see. So I just think that the beauty of life is to keep that engagement through life. And because I've created my own kind of job, as in, it's a charity we run, I'm able to, in the middle of the day, I could be in an office meeting and still doing press-ups in my main office because I've got a press-up bar. Or I'll be doing, sit-ups. And my staff and my team know that, I'm saying to you, I exercise throughout the day. So, and I set challenges for the kids. If someone comes in and I say, give me 20 squats. And they'll be like, oh, Trev. And I'll be like, yeah, man, let me just see, because it's good to see that kind of vibe in like a 17, 18-year-old, somebody who even thinks that they are, I need a job. And they can just feel like, they're not what they need to be. And I think the energy, the breathing, the vibe that it brings translates through life. And no matter what I've got, if I've got a meeting, 10 people on Zoom, and we're trying to work out a strategy, you know what really gets me through? That heart rate, that knowing that, I've got this idea in my head. When I get to that park, I'm going to try and do a no-handed jump and catch it. It vitalizes me. It makes me believe that I can do anything. And in work, I bring that same energy, and that's where I get it from.
I love that, Trevor. Yeah, you do bring that energy. Like I said, I could feel that energy when I'm through your Facebook.
Definitely.
5 years ago.
Let me say one thing quickly, just so you know. Since I started the studio, I've got no background in music. So I taught myself to play guitar, piano, drums. I read and write music theory to teach to kids. Photography and film, I've learnt myself. So the difference is I don't have any formal training in anything that I do. So that again is another reason, which is what I translate to the kids, because they think that I'm a trained person. And I say, no, I'm the same as you. I just came here and someone just says, do you want to have a go? And that is, again, the reason why it's about, it's about confidence. And that's what it does. It gives you that confidence to believe that nothing's impossible.
I love that. Self-taught, yeah. Self-taught. And it sounds like you're quite, you're an alternative to like formal education, formal training. That's what drew you. When you started learning photography, like 3-4 years ago, whenever it was, and the quality of your work was so amazing, and I knew you were just teaching yourself on the street on projects, and I was like, that's really important. You don't need a certificate necessarily or pay someone to teach you, and that's definitely, you're living that. I can see that.
Definitely.
So I know Gary is probably can relate as well. So Gary's a bit of an acrobat as well. I don't know if you want to talk about the feeling why you feel the need to backflip off cliffs and stuff like that, because you might have something in common.
Yeah, I was feeling you then, Trev, as you were describing that kind of thing of like you're heading to a park or to a meeting and you're just thinking like you're looking forward to a little challenge that you want to complete when you get there, or you got. And yeah, me and my friends do that a lot. Like with our training, we try some crazy stuff. One of the most recent ones was getting the scooters into the park and doing back somersault. The scooter going at 30 mile an hour off the back of the scooters. That was good fun. I shared a video with you.
Definitely.
We all survived, but I love it, and I love what you were sharing about the fact that kind of you came into all this stuff. You've kind of felt your way and learnt your way, and you had the vision, and you just pursued it and kept putting one step in front of the other, and through doing that, you've gone from one room starting off for the studio, and then built all around you to a whole village you got going on there, and I can see how you'd connect as well, you know, from coming by that.
Love it. And LJ as well, I know, like when we went into the youth Cookham Youth Offenders facility, like we were talking about, again, like just bringing exercise is obviously really important to what you do as well.
Yeah, well, it's just, again, it's with the youth on we done there, it's you know, I guess cell work out the prison aspect, you know, there's a certain yeah, I'm just trying to make it, always just trying to make it a bit enjoyable. Like even those exercises, it's because some people can think it's, oh, you've got to be in a gym to go through this certain routine, but I think it's more of a headspace, and it's more of a preparation time. Like, no, it was enjoyable sitting there last night, just thinking through, you know, I thought about our last workout and thinking, okay, what can we do for this one? Making things manageable for everyone, and then try and give. I think a big thing. I know what you're saying about Trev about self-taught, autonomy, and like having control over what you're doing is so important because it gives you confidence. If you're setting your own goals and your own workouts, you're more likely to stick to them as well. And I think it's just, when we go into prison and do them talks with the young kids, it's you know, here's the book, here's what I've done, but take that, create your own workouts, and you know, it's giving people the power to do that.
Definitely.
Love that. So on that note, LJ, and I feel like you're, for me, like a bit of a guru on this, like, or I definitely look to you like that. This year has been pretty crazy for a lot of people, but some beautiful things have come out of it, including this. I really hope for me and for everybody else as well. So I did say, like, I wanted to talk to everyone about some of our own personal tips or reflections, and Trevor as well. And I know you might have some wisdom here on staying happy and healthy, which is the basis of this year and beyond, because we're coming to the end of the year. From me, all I can say, and I love the fact that Tom Hawkins is still doing press ups. That's autonomy. You can do what you like out here, and that's what TEMPL stands for. But for me, working out with these guys, so I've been working out on Zoom with a bunch of guys, like twice weekly or weekly or even more than that. And that community, staying in touch with people that I'm not connected to physically has been really, really important. Regular, consistent. We're staying in touch and we're working out. That's been really important. And actually, the time when I've not been with people, I've read 1.5 books this year, which is more than I read the year before, and more than I read the year before that as well. So it's not a load of books, but I'm increasing my reading again, and I've got a bit more time, and and I'm trying to spend that time reading. I'm really enjoying that, and I'm getting back to things as well that I used to love, like you said, Trevor, actually, about being a kid. I'm getting back to things, music and things that I was interested in when I was 5 years old, 9 years old, 12 years old, and reading, I don't know, National Geographic magazine and reading about history. And those are just the things that I used to enjoy when I was young and no one told me what to do. So those are the things that's worked for me, reconnecting with my childhood, to be honest. Trevor, do you have any tips for people staying positive, happy and healthy in this year and next year?
Do you have any theories?
Any tips for people to stay happy and healthy?
I mean, really, I would just say, honestly, the greatest gift is when I started a proper gym, they told me I've got to take it easy. They said, based upon your age, based upon, the fact that you haven't done gym before, because I've only been doing gym since about 5 years, 5.5 years. I never did gym before, a physical gym. I'd always done stuff at home, but never been to a proper gym. And the same scenario, when you're a child, I believe that they're always saying, you can't do this, don't run too fast, don't jump off that. And I'll be honest with you, I think that the biggest problem in life is that no one's telling people really, go and do as much as you can. Try new things, be creative, reach for your goals. Even when you get to that age where they say footballers only really last till they're this age. And then if you try it later than them, they say, oh, you can never really make a professional. Don't believe anything that anyone says. You could be the next world champion. You don't need a gold medal to prove that. So everything in life is a test, is a journey, is an opportunity, an experience. And I treat it like that. This is a quick one, look. See this chair here? When I'm at work, when I'm really bored, I get the chair, I hold it out like that, and I do these, yeah? And I challenge people at work. And then if you can do it really good, get a decent chair and try it with one hand. You know what I'm saying? We all know the exercises, yeah? There's a million things. Yeah? There's a million things that you can do on a chair. You get what I'm saying to you? Yeah? And I'll do that at work while I'm working. You get what I'm saying to you? So never feel you need a gym. You don't need a big space. You know what I'm saying to you? You can do that in you know what I'm saying to you? You can do that on a train. You can begin on a train journey. So what it is, what you believe and what you give and what you receive is what you put into it. And just never feel uncomfortable, never feel that people are judging you, because I used to feel silly when I first went to the gym and was trying to swing around the bar or jump on it, because people would be like, well, why are you in the gym trying to swing on the bar? And you know what? We set these rules and we set these divisions that we've got to fit into. And now, because people are aware of some of the stuff that I do, they get it. When I first did it, it was, oh God, look at that guy, look what he's doing. So we're always being judged. Never forget that. And don't worry about it.
Trevor, I need just that attitude. Like I want to live by that more. Oh wow, I've got Sean Patterson in the building. Sorry, I didn't see you before. And your little girl. Oh, hello, Sean. Good morning. I hope you've enjoyed meeting Trevor. And hello, Sean, and the little daughter. Lovely to see you. And Rachel's hand, probably. Yeah, Trevor's attitude. Start swinging off stuff. Start jumping off stuff. Start. Don't backflip off a moped, though, Gary. What are your tips? You're staying positive these days as well. So I don't know if what you want to say to anybody going forwards.
Yep. To me, Rob.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nice. Yeah. Like for me, I'm really loving, like thriving off optimizing my time and optimizing my space and optimizing where I am and who I'm with to be getting like the maximum growth and to boost my energy and whatever I'm trying to learn or grow and develop. And the thing that I'm loving, I moved here Sunday week ago, so I've just got a room downstairs on the 3rd floor. Up on the 4th floor, it's a big co-working space. You've got sunrise one side, sunset the other side, and like it's a relatively small room that I've got, but it's comfortable, it's clean. I walk upstairs, I can come up here, I can work. I've got other people who are like building cool businesses and value-driven businesses, and I get to connect with them. but it's my morning routine that I love the most. When I get up in the morning, and it grounds me, it connects me, it puts me in a good state of mind. It helps me to look at my day ahead, see any challenges that might be coming up, think what kind of counterbalance measures I can take against those things, and really have a clear idea of my day. I use some really cool tools. I've got a Headway journal app, which has got some questions it asks me first thing in the morning. Then I've set my yoga mat up outside my door with my little Ganesh and a couple of Buddhas. So as soon as I step out the door, I've got a yoga mat staring at me. And if I dare to step over it, I'll feel guilty all day. So I get on there, pray, meditate, stretch, come upstairs. I try and reach out to a friend that I haven't spoken to in a long time, respond to any other non-work related messages I've got, and trying to make sure I sleep well. When I first moved here, I wrote a list of habits that I wanted to refine. And I wrote down get up by 7 a.m. every morning. And then I thought, why do I want to force myself to get up at 7 a.m. every morning? What if something comes up and I don't sleep till 1, 2 in the morning? Because I know I don't operate optimally if I haven't slept enough. So I put a line through that and I said, sleep for at least 8 hours, 6 days a week. And I've tried to restructure the first part of my day so no one's dependent on me in the first 2 hours of the day. So if I end up staying up late, it doesn't matter. I can just stay in bed a bit later. At least then I get a decent sleep and I'll be effective when I do start work. So I guess it's kind of touching on what Trev was saying about how he's able to. Trev, you're able to start doing press ups and all sorts of craziness if you're in a meeting or whatever you might want to do. Not everyone in their job probably can do that stuff, but I do believe that we've all got a chance to choose how we want to structure our life. And, you know, if we've got some constraints on our life as it is at the moment, and you'd prefer to change that, then think about how you could change it and start taking some steps towards changing it. So you've got the freedom to be able to kind of operate your life how you'd want to. I feel super blessed to be able to do that at the moment. I'm kind of at a stage of really refining and, defining what my life and my lifestyle looks like. And I'll tell you what I'd love to do if even one person here would want to read the email. I'd write an email out with some of the tools, like the apps and different things that I use to kind of for my daily practices and habits and stuff like that. You said, Rob, that you've read 1.5 books. I just downloaded an app called Blinkist a week ago, and I've consumed 3 books this week already. It's only like
all right, Gary. It's not a competition, but yeah.
I didn't have to read them though, mate. It takes 10 minutes for each one and you get to consume all the highlights of the book. So I'd be happy to share a list of all of those tools.
Yeah. All right. What we'll do then, we'll wrap up some of Trevor's tips. I've got this recorded. So we'll wrap up Trevor's tips, your tips, and I'm going to get to LJ. There's definitely a bit of a theme around autonomy. I know you talk about that, LJ. So just kind of briefly, have you got what are you doing? You're expecting a baby next year. What are you putting anything in place just to stay happy and healthy going forwards to think about?
I think it all goes back to the beginning of the lockdown, which I said, you know, I spent time in jail, so having the lockdown wasn't too much of a biggie for me. But I think for everyone, you know, everyone had to choose somewhere to live, be that their house, their flat, their parents, somewhere. And use either that autonomy. If you're living by yourself, just find out what routine works for you. If you're living with your family, work out what routine works well for you, and then obviously coexist. And if you're living with a partner as well. And I think for me, I've been, as soon as the lockdown come in March, I've been doing 12 hours a day at the desk, at the screen, and I've had to pull myself away for my meal preps and training and stuff, and I've really had to try and stick to that because blink and 12 hours is gone and I'm staring at a screen still. So try and bring in habits of bringing myself away from that. But it's again, things to be happy and grateful for. And it was definitely the baby news, and you know, we was due to get married in May, but Corona fucked the world up. And I actually, you know, it was a bit depressing that I couldn't actually see any of the baby scans, but I tried to look at it from the other way. You know, glass half full was, you know, I've been able to live with my missus for the past whole of her pregnancy, seeing her get a little bit bigger every day, which I found absolutely beautiful. And I actually got to see my 4D scan yesterday, so I'm drunk on baby news at the minute.
Congrats,
Amazing. You're right. Figuring out a routine is something that I tried to do at the beginning of lockdown, and it was important. It's not perfect, but you've got to make steps to kind of put a strategy in place. Congratulations on the baby coming. Everybody's got their own priorities, but there's definitely something about, we've all talked about figuring out what works for you, what works for the people around you. But to be honest, on this call, I've got some people that I know have got it figured out or doing a great job anyway. And I love the fact that Tom kept doing press ups, Johnny kept swinging his kettlebell around, Ted started doing some hoovering. Thanks for pointing that out, Dave. And that's what kind of place I want this to be. We're all figuring it out. Trevor, I just want to come back to you. I want to just say thank you. Your attitude to I work with Olivia, so when I go back to the office, I might start doing squats with a chair and stuff like that, and she'll know why I'm doing this, even if other people have a problem with it. But your attitude to just living, you've just smashed it. And I think somewhere I knew that you were some sort of role model for me a few years ago, and you definitely are after today. So Trevor, thank you. Lastly, tell me in 1 minute, what was it like at the royal wedding? How did you get invited to the royal wedding? Did you do press ups at the royal wedding? Tell me about your relationship with Prince Harry.
I mean, to be honest, the simple version is 2013. I got the building was due to change. I don't know if it's a state, but through council cuts and the way things are going. And I was sat in the main office, and I got a phone call. And to be honest, it wasn't even my phone; it was the main building's phone. But for some reason, I answered it, and it was his person who deals with his affairs. And they'd rang through the Royal Foundation, and they'd rang through, and they'd asked to speak to me. And to be honest, I was just like, yeah, of course you can. And I would say, to give you the short version, because it's a long story, over the year, they just kept ringing and asking to come and speak to us and asking questions like, why do you do what you're doing? What are you doing? And I didn't really know who they were and what they were about at the time. They didn't make it clear who they were. I just remember saying to my mate, it just sounded like the Queen was on the phone. And it was like 6 to 8 months later when they actually told me, after, keep coming, keep visiting, it says, we want to tell you who we are, what we're trying to do. And then I was kind of like, okay, so you're Prince Harry and, Prince William, and you want to work with me? And they were like, yeah. And I was like, well, at the time I was kind of like, well, I don't really want to work with you anyway. Not in a rude way, but just, I don't really understand what it is that you're trying to achieve. And because obviously sometimes people want to just take a photo with somebody, and 20, 30 years of doing what I'm doing, I didn't really feel like we needed a photograph. And they were saying, no, we really want to actually understand, we want to learn. And he came and made a formal visit, as they do. And the difference is when he walked in, the thing that was very clear was when Harry first walked in, he immediately kind of asked a couple of questions like a normal person does. And I just went, oh yeah, you want to see some kids, or you want to see this? Not, you want to be on a picture, or do you want to see, 20 kids playing brass instruments? He says, no, how do the kids manage to get through the day without no food if they've got no money? Questions that real people ask. So I just said, well, come with me. And I took him in the back, and in the back there were some kids, just normal kids who were not going to school, who we bringing off the street, and we were helping. And he sat and talked with them for 2-3 hours. And to me, the difference is when he left, we were literally like saying, yeah, man, check you again. And he was like, yeah, man, I'll come back. And he came back like a couple of weeks later, but he didn't come with a big fancy car or a big, a big display. He just turned up. So he pulled up in the car, walked out the car and walked in. And then people who were there were like, ain't that? And I'm like, yeah, man. And then the relationship was based upon nothing other than him being a guy who we know. And people would say, who's that? And I go, yeah, man, Harry. And that just became the tone. So even when he turned up, you'd be like, you know when you meet your mate you haven't seen for a bit and you kind of get a little headlock going on, you're like, yeah, come here. That's the kind of relationship we had. So it was kind of hard to look at it any other way. We didn't actually base it upon curtsy and bowing and, you know. So, yeah, you know, I don't know. That's, you know, we went to the Royal Palace to have a dinner and I don't eat fancy food. So he says, do you want to come for a Chinese, you know? That kind of stuff, do you get what I'm saying to you? We kind of read each other's situation rather than pretended to do things that you're supposed to do because he's the royal family. So obviously it was, yeah, man, you want to come to the wedding? And we were like, personally, I was kind of like, what? I'm not really a wedding guy, you know what I'm saying to you? I was like, boy, do we have to go? Kind of like, you know what I'm saying to you? But have you seen, you know what, remember Tom Hardy?
Yeah.
He was there. So, boy, I won't lie, the real wedding was sick, but we met Tom Hardy, you know what I'm saying to you? So, you know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, come on, man, let's keep it real. Like, how many times are you going to go to the toilet? We went to the toilet, and like, you know when you get to the toilet, and you're just like, wait, is that? Do you get what I'm saying to you? Yeah, it was Tom Hardy. And like, the worst thing though, I've got to cuss my mate who I work with, Nick Stairs, he clocked on exactly who it was, and he stopped and kind of talked to him. Well, I just kept walking, because obviously in a men's toilet, you're not really going to stop and talk to somebody, are you? You know what I mean? Let's be real. We're all men. So I walked out, but obviously I seen him when he get to talk to him. But either way, that's my legacy, man. You know what I mean? Prince Harry, royal wedding, Tom Hardy, you know what I'm saying? I mean, come on, man. Like, you know what I mean?
Wow, Trevor, on that note, I mean, I'm going to draw this to a close, but I want to meet you in person. I want to come to your centre. I want you to help us out. Well, I would love it if you would lead a workout, or if there's anything we could help you with going forward, we'll talk about that. But I love that. Pike said, my mate Dave Pike says, great story. It is a great story. It's crazy, but really it's testament to your energy. I think we talked about it last week, and it's like you're like, I could do anything. And you kind of do that. You kind of have been going and doing that, and it's mad.
Yeah. I mean, that is the ultimate thing that I tell. When the kids come, they say, I want to set a business up. I want to get a house. I want to get out of this, you know, situation I'm in. Anything. I'm a believer in it. All it is it's a phone call. It's, I know somebody who knows somebody who knows somebody who knows somebody. And guess what? Anything's possible. And I never tell the kids ever that they can't do it. And I mean, yeah.
Thank you, Trevor. All right, so it's 10:35, but everybody stayed on to listen to that. Listen to you, Trevor. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you for Tom for encouraging me to get another guest, because I reached out to Trevor like on your recommendation. Thank you, Ted. Thank you, Johnny. Thank you, Sean and little George, who I saw, and Dave and my sister. My sister's been helping me this month along the way with everything. Gary, LJ, thank you so much for the workout. And Olivia, thank you. I hope you enjoyed it, and everybody feels a bit stimulated and inspired this Saturday morning. I'm gonna do this again next month, December. We're going to squeeze it in before Christmas. So December the 19th, I'm going to come back with a snowy background. It's going to be the run up to Christmas. So if we burn a bunch of calories, then we can eat even more around Christmas, and also look forward to the year ahead. But I do want to end on a brief prayer and reflection. So we just take a minute at the end. I'm just gonna lead it, and then send you out to have a wonderful weekend and a wonderful month ahead. And I look forward to seeing you next month. But thank you. I'm going to take some pictures when I give away these Christmas presents, and that's because of you. So thanks for bringing us all together again this month. Thanks for our bodies, as Chloe said. Thanks for the gift of inspiration. Thank you for the energy that Trevor has given us today. I hope everyone can embody some of that, move more, and get connected with the things that they loved when they were a kid. bring some of that energy. I'm just going to be quiet for 10 seconds and then I'm going to end the call. Thanks for joining. Thank you, guys.
Thank you all.
Thank you, everyone.
Cheers, Rob. Cheers, Gary. Big up, Trev. Thank you for that. Yeah.
Bless. Thank you.
Have a nice
Thank
weekend,
you, Trevor.
everyone.
I'll be in touch. Thank you so much.
Nice weekend.
Cheers, everyone.